Alright everybody, welcome to the FTW Podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. My name's Harrison, and with me as always is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
What the hell is going on, guys?
Rob, say hello, Rob.
Hey.
Kevin is back, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello, Kevin.
What's up?
Lee, say hello, Lee.
Hello.
And Garvin is manning the boards. Tonight is episode number 129, coming to you live on August 28th, 2012. And on tonight's show, we got the draft, No More Claire, and your reactions and questions for us to read and comment about. But first, if you're new to the show, check out theftwpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in tonight's show, as well as upcoming shows. You can reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, voicemail, text message, email. All those links and information are listed right there for your perusal and general whatever. All right, it's time to talk the draft. We got to talk about it, even though the sad fact is, Lee, you British twat, is in first place.
Well, what a shame that is. I mean, I have single-handedly took us, the FTW team, above the listeners. Single-handedly. Especially, I'd like to point out, I know he's not here, but he is here, that a certain person has no points at all. And if he maybe stepped up his game just a little bit, then maybe we won't be in the shit that we're in.
Yeah, Garvin is the Robbie E of this podcast. Lee is in first place with 19 points. Connor's got 17. Rob, you have 13 points and you're tied with Joe. And RKO Voices has 11.5 points. The top 5 wrestlers are R-Truth. Just racking up 13 points. Kofi Kingston, Sheamus with 10. CM Punk has 8.5 and tied with Ryback. But the big stat is that we are finally on top of the listeners. We are kicking your ass 73-67. So hopefully that trend continues and we just keep crushing you guys into the ground. So when the playoffs are done and it's one of us versus one of you, it's just, it's useless at that point. It's just ceremony for us. It's our victory lap. So, I mean, damn it, Lee. So hopefully, I want to rack up some points for next week. And then, maybe Garvin will finally get a win. For reaction for episode 128 last week, first item on the docket, Pecker Decker let us know. I love that great name. SummerSlam.
I bet you do.
Yeah, SummerSlam 2012 was a disappointment. The only reason that he watched SummerSlam was because of Brock versus Triple H. There was no blood or gore in the Lesnar fight. Triple H was awful. Even at the final scene, Triple H stayed in the ring and apologizing to the crowd. The crowd did not care. Brock needs to fight Sheamus or CM Punk. First off, I don't really think that blood or gore was really needed for that. And
how much gore are you expecting? I mean, do you expect somebody's head to explode? What are you truly expecting?
I think he was expecting kind of like a UFC fight, where you can.
But there's no gore in that. That's just blood. It's not like somebody's appendage imploded
Yeah, this
or
is
exploded.
in Mortal Kombat. I hate to bring it to you.
But we're also missing the fact that we've got to remember that this is PG. I'm not being funny, and I don't like the PG debate, but this is PG we're talking about. We shouldn't expect blood, gore, and a full-blown blood everywhere like Flair versus Hogan. We don't expect that.
I just like the gore comment. We didn't see any gore.
I didn't see Brock
Rhino
Lesnar physically remove Triple H's heart. What the fuck is up with that?
There was no gore because Rhino's not part of WWE. Hey-oh.
Alright, so, the other thing is when he apologized at the end, it was, I don't think it was because the match was crap. He was just saying, I'm sorry I lost. But anyway, there it is. And the crowd did care. I mean, and they were chanting his name. Anyway, Brock needs to fight Sheamus or CM Punk. What do you guys think of that one?
Either works.
Kevin, you've been quiet. Okay. Rob, what do you think?
Continue.
Brock versus Sheamus could be interesting, but you don't put somebody unskilled like Brock in the ring with somebody very skilled like CM Punk.
See, I gotta disagree with you about that, because I would say Brock Lesnar of maybe 5-6 years ago, I could see that argument, but he really stepped up his game against Triple H. I mean, Triple H did
One match does not make you skilled, man. If Brock can put together a string of consistent matches, I'll rethink my position, but
never going to happen, because he's never going to have a string of matches, period.
Thus you see why I'm confident in keeping my position.
Oh, you can keep your position for a lack of evidence.
But having a good match against Triple H, that doesn't really mean much because Triple H is really good at putting other people over. He's an experienced veteran. He can make just about anybody look good. And Triple H is at the end of his career.
So yeah, exactly. Spoiler alert. Okay. All right. LouTube Wins says, I'd like to see ADR with a Mexican revolutionary gimmick. Yeah. I mean, Kevin, you weren't on last week. What do you think about that? The idea of ADR getting like a Mexican Revolution gimmick, maybe with a small stable of people or just by himself?
Won't happen. Backlash from minorities and groups and all that shit would prevent it. Won't happen. Sorry.
But that's the thing, though. TNA has Mexican America, and that was just weeks ago. So
that's TNA. That's a fraction of the size of WWE. Sorry. Won't happen. No, they can't do something that controversial. Won't happen.
All right, that's fair. Okay. Josh Target 534 is apparently offended by the things that may or may not have been said about Lee. He got upset with us saying that we basically attacked the fight that we had last week was basically a battle of us lobbing stereotypes at Lee, which I do not deny. However, he requested that we say aluminum, so aluminum. Also, we can only assume that he's from the UK.
Aluminium.
Yeah, okay. We can only assume that he's from the UK and doesn't like crumpets and only drinks coffee, so there's that. And also, he said that the word faggot in the UK is a meat-onion mixture, and we were kind of talking about this.
No, it's really traditional. It's an old-fashioned thing that's kind of gone out, and you hear the word faggot, and it's got a modern meaning now. So it's very rare you see it anywhere. But it's just like it's normally pork. You mix it in, you can have some onion in there, you can have it on, with mash and stuff like that. So it does mean that in the UK. It's just, it's completely, it's really traditional. It's old fashioned as such. No one really eats them anymore.
Yeah, it's terrible then, because all old fashioned British cuisine is terrible.
Oh, don't start. Don't really, you know what, we're 10 minutes in.
Yeah, dude, please. Don't start.
10 minutes in.
All right, fine. I don't want to upset any other British listeners. All right, so
and let's just throw this one out here, okay? If you're offended by stereotypes and just general mockery of society and whatever, just don't fucking listen to our show. Just go away. Let me see. What was your dumbass Twitter handle? Josh Target 534. Just fuck off, alright? If you don't like that shit, there's other podcasts. We don't care.
And all of a sudden, 860 followers went down to 200 followers.
If you got any problems, just take them up at WrestlingNewsSource.com.
Yes, if you have problems, WrestlingNewsSource.com is your answer. Or go ahead and email Kevin@theftwpodcast.com, and I will tell you exactly where to shop.
Oh, no, you won't. I am reasonably sure you don't know how to check your email there.
Let's not
Aaron with a win. Harrison with a win on that one.
Yeah, yes, he's right. Let's not confuse the ability to check the email to the wherewithal or desire to check the email.
Chat nailed it, man. Of course you don't care, Kevin. You're never here for the backlash. That's exactly it. Kevin, you're the band who walks in, trashes the hotel room, and leaves, and the rest of us are going, damn it, now we gotta pay for all this.
Yeah, we're the ones hotel managers come. You guys are going to pay for that asshole, right?
We got it.
With us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to be the one trashing hotel rooms in about a month. Bitches.
All right, time for Superstars. Lee, take us away, buddy. What happened on Superstars, and what was your absolute favorite moment of it?
Well, thanks a lot for that. Damien Sandow and Yoshitatsu had a surprisingly good match. I quite liked it. Sandow got a hell of a lot of offense in and pretty much dominated the match, really. It was quite good fun to watch, and I haven't seen much of Yoshitatsu in absolutely ages, so it was a nice change, really. Riley versus McIntyre did nothing for me. It was really pretty boring. It was just a basic ending. Cody Rhodes, has ever looked good. He beat Justin Gabriel, who has just disappeared from the face of the earth and seems to be a key man on Superstars right now. I'd like to see more of Sandow's obviously on SmackDown, so he's got not a lot to worry about. I wish Justin Gabriel would get more of a chance, really. He showed some decent stuff against Cody, but of course Cody doesn't need the win. He's on Superstars. He just doesn't need it. So I'd rather.
No, Cody definitely needs the win.
No, but not on Superstars. He doesn't.
Yeah, no, he needs it on SmackDown, Raw, and Superstars.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Though. No, he doesn't need it on Superstars though, because
he does. Completely. I need the points.
Oh, fucking hell's sake! Fucking hell's sake! Has anyone got Drew McIntyre? Anybody taking Drew McIntyre?
Probably not, because it's Drew McIntyre and he jobs.
No. Well,
I took Kurt Hawkins.
I'm reasonably sure most of us want to win, Lee, and ergo nobody drafted Drew McIntyre.
Well, you can talk, Rob. Who's in first place? I know I want to win.
For the moment, you're in first. For the moment.
All that counts is now. For the meantime, I can brag as much as I want now. Next week, if you're in front, you brag all you like. This is my time.
The main event, the Cody Rhodes versus Justin Gabriel. Sounds like it was a fantastic main event.
It was. Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say it was fantastic. That's a bit overshadowing. It was better for Superstars quality.
It was a solid match for Superstars. It's a Superstars main event. It's so much better than Saturday Morning Slam's blockbuster match of. It was Heath Slater against Jack Swagger. No, wait.
It was Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston and Heath Slater. That's right. Sorry, God, that is such a horrible show. With Santino on commentary. Ugh. Oh,
anyway,
scrape my brain.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Whoa. Slow the phone. Slow. Did you not? It wasn't. I've just realised. It wasn't Damien Sandow and you've got these the wrong way round. I'm absolutely sure. Hang on. Let me think back. I'm positive they're not right. Let me check it. I'm positive they're not right. Hang on.
All right. Hey, Lee.
I've just realised. No, it just kind of clicked to me that
RKO Voices. Saturday Morning Slam is not counted in the draft.
No, it's not.
No, he was asking in the live chat, and I wanted to clarify.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Same with
oh no, that happened. Yeah. No, okay, never mind.
Oh, Lee, look at that, telling us how to do our job, and it turns out you're wrong. I guess that first place isn't really doing much for you. So we're just going to go ahead and put a pin.
Hey, dumbass, guess who's on your team?
No, Lee, we're done with you. You've proven that you can't even run Superstars, for crying out loud. I mean, I'm going to trust you to carry on a discussion now about Impact.
Oh yeah, like we've had many compliments about your hosting.
So, we actually, you know what? I don't want to get into that. All right, so Impact Wrestling. Rob?
We did have a couple from his wife.
Here we are. Rob, we have reached the finish line. No more Claire. Potentially.
Potentially, yes. Long overdue, but I kind of like the way they wrapped it up.
Are you serious? They grabbed every single trope they could out of a hat and threw it at us.
Yeah, but at least, unlike the WWE, at least they actually ended the storyline as opposed to just saying, okay, we're never going to talk about this again.
Yeah, but this is one of those times where I would have been glad if they never talked about it again.
Well, no, it could have been worse. Hornswoggle, it could have turned out that the kid was Hornswoggle or something.
Or Claire could have given birth to a hand or something.
Yeah,
that hand grew up to be quite the young man.
And he's a second generation superstar, so fuck you, Rob.
Okay, so yeah, Claire, just Claire, what was it? Why was she in the hospital? It was something really stupid.
I don't know. If Daniels and Kazarian were to be believed, she's, well, I don't know why I don't think she was in the hospital because the ending they went with, according to Claire's statement, she was never pregnant in the first place.
Yeah, but she wasn't there, and so she had like some lawyer read a script on a thing. Oh, it was like I don't know. For me personally, I really think that when they started the storyline, they had that segment in their back pocket, and when this thing started to tank, they pulled the ripcord. And what this was.
I think that's what happened. I think when they came up with the storyline, they're like, okay, this is either going to be really awesome or really bad. If it's really bad, here's how we end it. Yeah, and when it turned out to be really bad, it's like, yeah, okay, call it.
Yeah, take that sucker behind the shed and put 2 rounds in its head. Okay, so, okay, so the other thing I want to ask you about is the open fight night. I always thought that was kind of a cool gimmick or a cool way to book a show. It felt like it was really not used to very good effect on Thursday.
Yeah. This night, this open fight night was easily the worst open fight night they've had so far. I mean, you had Tara versus Tessmacher, which was a good match, good way. Tessmacher calling out Tara. Tessmacher calls out Tara to see if she can beat her mentor, her friend. And this should have been a good match, but it was downgraded by the fact that there were 2 different stories being told. In the ring, you had Tara and Tessmacher really seeming like they didn't really want to fight each other. But Tenay and Taz just kind of ignored that and put their own spin on things. And so it turned up being really awkward.
Yeah, it was one of those things where that, you know, if Taz and Tenay really stepped up their game and did their jobs, really could have made that into really a phenomenal match. But yeah, like you're saying, there was that disconnect that obviously they just didn't want to tell the story that was in the match. They just wanted to tell their own.
And whoever decided that Robbie E should get a win over RVD and AJ Styles should be taken out back and beaten to death with a blunt object.
Come on, Robbie E with the fluke win over RVD, which it's just delicious for me. I just think it's hilarious. So yeah, Robbie E gets the only points he's ever going to get. Well, that's it. He's done with the buffer. Okay, now, Rob, this is another thing I wanted to kick to you. So Hogan comes back, or Sting, what? He catches the three members of Aces and Eights, distracts them. Hogan beats him down with a baseball bat, starts growling at him, comes back as Hollywood Hogan, whatever. Why didn't they unmask him?
Yeah, I was asking myself that question too. It's like, okay, you've knocked them the fuck out. You unmasked the prospects at the beginning of the night. Why aren't you ripping off the mask to see who these people are? Yeah. Apparently Hogan and Sting were, too busy being fucking insane to do something logical like take the fucking mask off and see who's attacking you.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the entire premise of Scooby-Doo, and they couldn't do it once. I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was like, that was one of those things, like this entire show.
At least nobody ran out for Scooby snacks during the show.
Oh, this would have been even better. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is, ODB segment, no Eric Young. Rumors are that Eric Young is actually going to come back this week. Other than ODB being, in general, probably the scariest woman alive, where do you think they're going with that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it's one of TNA's great failings is they underutilize talent. I mean, ODB and Eric Young both have good talent. They could both make big contributions in their respective divisions. But both TNA seems to have decided somewhere along the line that both are good for comic relief and nothing else. And thus, it's almost impossible to predict where TNA is going to use them. Because it's, other than to say, it's not going to be anything meaningful.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris Louis on Gut Check, he's not going to be signed.
I don't think so. I mean, I have to agree with Taz. I mean, he gave some good promos. He showed to me that he has some ability on the mic, but, in the ring, he looked really
awful.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like he was really nervous, which, I mean, I can understand. That's gotta be a tough situation being in a big arena on national TV, and then Gunner comes down, I mean, most people would shit their pants, but I mean, even though you can work on moves, if by some miracle Louis does get the contract, I see TNA sending him right to Ohio Valley for developmental work.
Yeah, but then again, we're in the same, like Chad's saying, gut check was bad. I mean, we're in the same streak where, again, we've signed yet another gut check person. I mean, they got to not sign someone eventually, and this is probably the best candidate they're going to get. Last thing before we move on, the Aces and Eights brawl versus TNA. Do you see this? Here's the thing. We don't have any matches other than a four-way, to find who wins, the final four-way for the Bound for Glory series. No matches at all are booked for No Surrender as of right now, and that's September 9th. Do you see any fallout between the Aces and Eights and TNA Brawl? I mean, do you see that leading to somewhere and kind of filling up that card, or do you think that there's still some life left in this and they're just going to milk it for a while?
I don't know. I think we might see. I don't think it'll be filling up the card. If anything, we might get like a team brawl. You know, like maybe 3 or 4 people from TNA versus 3 or 4 people from Aces and Eights. I don't think they're going to make like a whole bunch of individual matches, at least until members of Aces and Eights are revealed or something.
Okay. All right. So hopefully it makes for a decent card. Final 4 people in the Bound for Glory series are James Storm, Samoa Joe, RVD, and AJ Styles. Unfortunately, I don't have any of them in my draft, so huzzah for me. All right. So time for SmackDown. Joe, what was your absolute favorite moment of SmackDown?
I'm going to go with the main event. ADR against Randy Orton to determine the number 1 contender for Sheamus' World Heavyweight title. And ADR wins. Clean. So that's awesome. Dolph tried to tease a cash in, but Orton RKO's him. So maybe they'll do a little bit of Dolph versus Orton to give them both something to do before Dolph cashes in, quite possibly. R-Truth and Kofi Kingston beat Epico and Primo with the Prime Time Players as the guest commentators. That was pretty solid, too.
Yeah.
In the really what the fuck match, Heath Slater beat Sin Cara.
Yeah, that was bad.
With Cody Rhodes on commentary. So Rhodes ends up flipping around Sin Cara's mask so he can't see, which allows Heath Slater to get the win. I thought that was awesome, purely for the fact that wrestling memes took that screenshot of him with his mask turned around and said, Sin Cara botches putting on his mask. It was epic. Another bad match was Layla beating Alicia Fox. I have a hard time watching Layla. I really do.
I do and I don't. Because on one hand, she's British. On the other hand, she's crap.
I don't care where she hails from. Crap is crap.
There you go.
And I will put Alicia Fox over her in a second. That's a tough thing. I mean, a lot of people say Alicia Fox can't wrestle. Well, still, there you go.
Well, here's a question I want to ask you, Joe, after SmackDown. Is one thing that you'd like to talk about frequently is tag divisions in WWE, and that you'd like to see more of it. Let's face it, Truth and Kofi and Epico and Primo with the primetime players as the guest commentators. You got PDP, Epico and Primo, Usos, Kid Beretta. I mean, all those people. There's a lot of heat going into the tag division. It seems like a lot of attention to it. I mean, do you think this is good? I mean, come on. Or do you think this is
good TV. This is what we need. We need another tag team renaissance where we have 5 teams that are viable for the title, as opposed to this. We have 2 teams and they go at it for a while, and then we just drop the losing team and they get another team. The formula they've had for a long time. I want to see, I want to go back to the time period where we might have 3 teams in a match for the tag team titles. I would like to see more fatal 4-way tag team matches and triple threats, and I want to see a 2 out of 3 falls match for a tag team division.
Oh, that'd be nice.
If you go back, man, you look at the matches between Demolition, Heart Foundation, the Rockers, just go back to that era, the 80s wrestling era, and that's really where tag team wrestling thrived, and it's an art that is lost on a lot of today's viewers.
Back in my day, tag team wrestling was so much better. So Oksana.
Shit, I made a Magnum PI reference last night and during Raw, and people were like, "What?" I'm like, I'm so fucking old.
Okay, so Cobra and Oksana. I mean, I am so sick of Santino. This is ridiculous. This is the dumbest thing in the world. Come on, Joe. I mean, the Cobra is infatuated with Oksana, who she doesn't even try to look sexy. She looks like she's sick when she's trying to do that. Her face is all droopy and just kind of.
I don't find her attractive at all, anyway. So, I mean, any comment I make about Oksana is just gonna be bad. I find her to be creepy.
Okay, that's fine. Ryback, got some mic time, calling out Jatinder, calling out Jinder Mahal. Now, this got kicked in my face because I said that Ryback is on the decline. Do you think this is going to be him kind of like going back up? Because now he's got lyrics in his songs, seems like the crowd's chanting his catchphrases now. I mean, do you think this is now we're starting to see what WWE wanted Ryback to be 2 or 3 months ago?
Yeah, Ryback's getting to that point where, he had a semi-feud with Jinder, so we had the ability to, have more, have him on an upswing and actually be able to prove himself. We wanted this a while ago, now we're starting to get it, and I obviously foresee Ryback going quite a bit farther before suffering a loss.
If you keep having a guy squash people, 10-year-olds are probably going to be interested.
Well, he's not squashing guys. Guys are getting an upper hand on him. Back when he was facing Rex, when he fought Hawkins, when he fought them together, Jinder Mahal's gotten the upper hand on him a number of times. So did Swagger.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're having time in the match where they're purely in control, where he's taking a beating.
Okay, so they're putting him against low mid-card guys who are holding their own. Congratulations. It's the same. It amounts to the same thing. They're putting on this giant win streak. TNA did the same thing with Crimson. What happened there?
Yeah, but a lot of Crimson wins were like DQ and shit like that. You're not
still wins, still played up the streak,
and at least
it amounts to the same thing.
Not necessarily, because at least the WWE marches right back out week in and week out. TNA like to give Crimson 2-3 weeks off and then go on about how he'd been undefeated for all these months.
No, that's true. Yeah, Crimson would be gone. And the other thing is, like Crimson would have DQ matches, stuff like that. I mean, you at least say that, Ryback, for all the comparisons to Goldberg you want to make, he's at least winning his matches. He's not, DQing them or trying to get underhanded or anything like that. So, Joe, you think this is going to be an upswing for Ryback? Do you see him basically racking up a ton of points in the draft?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping on it.
Damn it. All right. Time for Raw. Lee, I just want to know one thing, and were you as tickled pink as I was of Lawler just getting his ass handed to him the entire show?
It wasn't the best bit of the show, but yes, I enjoyed it. I actually, during the opening segment, when Punk was going on and on about Lawler, I felt the first time in a long time, felt quite sorry for Lawler, because Punk was getting over. His monologue to Lawler was so good. It was really, really good. It really opened Raw strongly. Just telling him, that he wants to fight as such. Then even Lawler, going, I'm not sure if we're going to fight him or not. It was a nice little tease, really. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that was horrible.
What?
What's wrong with you? I loved it.
What? Because you knew the entire time he was going to face him.
I knew it did, but because you knew it, you was waiting for when he said yes, which was good. And remember,
I bet you were waiting with bated breath for Triple H to give his speech too.
Yeah,
we'll come on to Triple H later. Okay, we're not about him now.
But it was awful. He's like, you know what, Punk? I'm gonna think about it. That was like the most limp-wristed "fuck you" I've ever heard.
Dong dong.
No, it wasn't. For Christ's sake, it's the opening hour of the show. They need something for people to tune in for. And then what they did is they hung the people who were watching on until pretty much the last segment in the first hour, hooking people on. That's fine. Of course, we know he's going to say yes, but younger people will watch that because they don't know he's going to say yes.
I hate that's such a cop out.
No, it's not a cop out. It's a real reason, you tit.
Ryback versus Swagger. Ryback squashes Swagger.
That was
notice the use of the word squash. Thank you.
No, not squash like no.
Squash.
No.
Let's rewind the tape for the past 30 seconds. Squash.
Kevin. I used the wrong term. Ryback made Swagger look like crap. Swagger looked awful.
Swagger's looked awful for months. Squash.
Oh, he looked terrible. No, he botched. What? He botched like at least 3 times.
Oh, it was a real sloppy match, especially when Swagger landed on his head. That was dangerous. That scared me a little bit.
Yeah, it was. What was Ryback going for? He was going for
I think no, he went for bouncing off the ropes and threw him up just a normal slam, I think it was, and it was just landed so awkwardly.
Yeah, I mean, no, the thing was, Ryback had him up in the air, and Swagger just didn't roll. He just kind of stayed up there and just landed. Bam.
Yeah, it was really nasty.
Oh, God, it was terrible. Yeah, and then at the end, he screams, that's it. So, who knows, maybe he's tired, because they keep referencing his losing streak.
Yeah, but they never go very well, do they?
That's fair. Daniel Bryan in anger management class. What'd you think of that? All those segments.
It was actually the funniest thing this year. Oh God! If you were following my post yesterday, God Almighty, when Kane brought up Katie Vick, good grief, I was clapping. I was laughing for 15 minutes after that. I have got to give whoever wrote them 3 little segments deserve an award. That was brilliant. Daniel Bryan played his part well. Kane just monologue. It reminded me of, do you remember Austin Powers, the Dr. Evil's little thing in the first one? It reminded me of that in a way, but and when he Pete Rose reference, it was great. It was brilliant. Great.
I love the smirk he gave when he was like, I buried my brother alive. Like,
it was just so funny.
Just everything about that was like pure win by Kane. Major props to him. Best deliveries and the best reactions came from Daniel Bryan. Just like,
do you know what the thing is though? Do you know what the thing is though? The real problem I had, not with the segment itself, but with the fans, was I got I put comments on Facebook wall and Twitter, and I got replies like, "Who is Katie Vick? Who's Pete Rose?" And you just think to yourself, really. Well,
the only reason they're referencing Katie Vick is for the older fans, and they're trying to exclude the younger fans from knowing that because, well, Triple H said a blow-up doll was her, and he had sex with her in a coffin with a Kane mask on. Are you telling me that younger fans?
About it? I just don't want to relive that.
No, I do. I could relive that every day. It was so good.
Oh,
it's so funny that it was so bad.
God.
Yeah, I don't think, Triple H didn't really mention that in his little retirement speech, did he?
Yeah, I would have absolutely, I think Seth Mate said this on Twitter, I would have given props to WWE if during their video packages of their highlights of Triple H's career, they'd have just shown that night where he went to the funeral.
And he's standing there, hey Katie. God, so creepy.
Do you know what the funny thing about that was, not to dwell on it too much, the funny thing was, they actually turned up that day and there was a funeral going on next door.
Oh, really?
Really? In all seriousness.
The camera truck and all the lights and everything. What are you doing? Nothing. We're just a pro wrestling company. Don't mind us. Sorry for your loss.
Don't mind us. Our
we're definitely not committing necrophilia with this corpse inside of the coffin.
It was simulated.
That is not happening
for your own safety. For your own safety, don't come in here until we're done.
Kevin,
that was 10 years ago as well.
It was 10 years ago. It was a different time. Back then, simulated necrophilia was fine. Chat saying until the Kane segment was shit. After that, thought it was pretty good. Kane segment basically made the night. CM Punk got the King in an Anaconda Vice, as well as CM Punk rocking the shaved head, almost like Paul Walker from Fast 5. Okay. DDB and Kane, Ziggler and Punk did not this whole show make. Also, so much Triple H. Yeah, that's another thing. Triple H, Chad said it, Triple H spoke for 12 minutes and never actually said anything in the entire show.
It was bad. Even from the most staunch of Triple H supporters.
The best thing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Is Kevin actually criticizing Triple H?
I'm not saying I'm not.
He won't admit to it, but yes.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. That's what I'm trying to say.
He can't say the actual words, but he's doing it.
Okay, well, Lee, what I mean, the consensus of the show, he retired, right? Or no?
I think so.
No, well, he warmed it up to do it, but he hasn't yet.
He hasn't done it. He didn't say specifically that he'd retired, which probably means, judging by what rumours are going around, people are saying there's a rumour going around saying that he's not coming back to WrestleMania. There's a rumour going around that he's not. There's a rumour going around he's not back till Hell in a Cell, where he can face Lesnar. There's a rumour going around saying he's not back till Survivor Series. Either way, he's coming back.
Yeah, HBK, Triple H, WrestleMania. I'm still convinced. Until I hear of another main event. Sorry, that's the one that's going to happen.
No, that won't happen. HBK will never come. Well, he won't come back anytime soon. No way.
The idea of HBK wrestling again. Chet saying, I got a feeling that Kane and D-Bry are going to team up by being forced to do so via AJ. Don't really know about that one. I mean, what do you think, Lee? The idea of them on a...
Did he say Daniel Bryan and Kane?
Oh, yeah, yes. I love the idea. I don't think it's going to happen.
I'd love that to be a team. I can see it coming, though. They're in the same class together. They're going to go through probably another couple of weeks worth of vignettes with them. It'll be hilarious. And then AJ will go, now you've come out of this, whatever that they're doing, you're going to team up and become a tag team. And do you know what? If they win the tag titles, I would be absolutely fine with that, 'cause it's a great team.
I just want to see if Dr. Stevie's going to jump from TNA and come over and help them out.
Also, I've got to mention one more thing about Kane. Just before, when Zack Ryder and David Ortunga came along, when Kane came out, Michael Cole, I've got to be honest, I don't really like Michael Cole, but that moment, Michael Cole stood next to the table. Hi, Kane. You alright, Kane? Do you want to give any comment on this, Kane? Kane just said absolutely nothing. Cole's just stood there looking at him, scared shitless while Josh
Cole never came near that table when Kane was sitting there.
Kane was brilliant. The MVP of this show.
My favorite part is Kane even had the headset on but didn't say anything. Just sat there and stared.
Yep.
Oh, God, it was so funny. Kane made that show.
Chad's saying from anger management to couples counseling, which would be epic. Yeah, that would be pretty good. I don't know if they'd do it, because there's a show on USA that's kind of like that, but if they did, it'd be great. Triple H is taking a break so he can fight Brock at either Hell in a Cell or Survivor Series. Yeah, that's a rumor, but rumors are rumors. All right, Punk versus Lawler. Oh my God. Oh, that was awesome. Punk just handing Lawler his ass inside a steel cage for about 15 minutes. It was great.
And then afterwards coming to Lawler saying, here's your ass, you drop this.
Yeah, exactly. It was so good. What'd you think, Lee?
Yeah, it was another really, really strong thing from them. No, I can see where people say not a lot happened in this show. Fair point. Fair enough. But the end of the Raw I thought was brilliant. It was really well done. The cage not open. I have to be honest. If I was Jerry Lawler, I'd be quite pissed off that Cena couldn't be bothered climbing into the cage rather than waiting 2 minutes for it to eventually come up. But it was great.
Well, they had to get Kevin Nash to raise the cage.
Yeah, he had to wait. Who knows? And he takes forever to get anywhere unless he's on maybe a Segway.
True. But the actual match itself was really, really, really good. And Punk just trying to, and I love when Punk started singing. Andy Kaufman did exactly the same thing. If you go back long enough, but it was really good. And it was really establishing that Punk is now full. The turn is complete.
Oh yeah, hands down.
And it worked as well. It really did work. I still don't like Cena, and I'm not supporting Cena, but it did make Cena look like that kind of guy.
Yeah, kind of like hero, savior type of thing. Basically, Punk's full heel now, and they've got to do whatever it takes to get people to dislike him. That's the thing, though. He still got over. I mean, people were still cheering him when he left.
And that's the problem, because I think next week or within the next few weeks, Raw is coming to Chicago, and
next week it is.
Yeah.
And they are not gonna the Chicago crowd. I'm telling you, Punk could kill a man in the middle of the ring, and the crowd would still cheer him.
I think they've come to grips with that, though, because you're exactly right, Rob. But he's an icon there, always has, and always will be, and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, he in Chicago, he's almost like rock star level. I don't think he could get the crowd to boo him if he wanted to.
It would be good for a change, though, like, just for something different. If WWE kind of, like, they caught onto it, they sent him out there and the fans will cheer him and such. It would be good, just to turn the tables a little bit, like for Funk to go out there and say, this is my hometown, you're not going to boo me as such. Mitch, play a bit cocky on it, get the crowd to, cheer him. When Cena comes out, yeah, do what you want, just for a change.
I don't know. They're trying to, you guys go kind of nailing it. They're going to try and turn him heel, and it's not going to happen. Not in Chicago. Chad's saying it. People are never going to dislike him. And they're damn sure not going to dislike him in Chicago. Good lord. That's his hometown. Alright, so from Raw, we move on to Ask FTW. For those of you guys new to the show, each one of us is going to get 30 seconds to sound off on a news topic that you give, or a question basically that you give us. And if there's time afterwards, we'll scream at each other for a little bit. Number one on the docket is from some idiot named Garvin, who says, with Cole basically working alone, or with guests on SmackDown and Raw, for parts of the show at least, could they be testing to see if Cole could handle commentary by himself? And how awesome did he sound without the sidekick? Joe, what do you think? Cole by himself, and how good was it?
I could see Cole by himself in some cases. I don't think they'll ever do it, though. Cole without Lawler, awesome. I dislike Lawler at this point in my life. He's overdone. If he's not going to be shouting puppies, I think he can go.
All right. Lee, what do you think?
I liked Cole on his own as such. He's good. He can do his job. He can do his job. We all know he can do his job. He's been there 15 years. He can do it. The thing is, King's commentary is bad because and I'm not going to blame Lawler all because a lot of it comes through his headset, what he gets told to do. But Cole can do it. He can sell pay-per-views. He just needs to focus on one thing rather than taking up this heel persona that they love to do.
All right. Rob, what do you think?
I'm going to agree. Lawler's got great mic skills. I think it's WWE that's killed his character. Cole, I used to criticize him for not knowing wrestling moves or everything, or being as knowledgeable as JR, but Cole has shown he's got the ability to do his job without that. He can tell the story of a match. I think Cole by himself works.
Okay. And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's possible. I certainly think that I've always liked Cole. I think he does a good job. He could focus a little more possibly on the match when it's happening, but I think overall he does a good job. It's definitely time for Lawler to go. I've been a staunch supporter of the guy, but I'm to the point where I'm with everybody else. It's time to put him out the pasture. And maybe they are, because I don't think that they have anybody else to really replace Lawler with. So,
no, they don't have anybody to replace him yet.
Yeah.
We can all say that, Lawler has to go, Cole has to go. But if Josh Matthews did it, it wouldn't work because he's simply just not good enough for it.
Yeah, exactly, Lee. I think that's the problem, is they just don't have anybody else. So, yeah, it makes sense. If they're going to do that, it'd be a first, too. I can't even remember there being just a one-man team. So, maybe he can make it happen. Really cement his legacy. Look at it that way.
Well,
that would be the only way to put I in team.
Actually, I believe way back when Raw first started off and Vince McMahon was actually one of the announcers, I believe he worked by himself for the majority of the show. Or, maybe it was him and JR, I don't know. I'll have to check.
I don't think so. The first Raw team was Savage, Rob Bartlett, and was it McMahon or was it somebody else?
I think it was Vince.
Was Gorilla Monsoon still doing it back then?
No, he wasn't doing it.
No, he was gone at that point.
Yeah,
okay.
I think he was backstage at that point. Anyway, I don't know. I know a lot of people call me a King apologist, because I'm such a huge fan of his. But, I think he's a withered old man husk and he needs to just go away. As far as replacing him, by himself doesn't work. Just having one voice for 3 hours. 3 hours enough that's up to here, but one guy doing everything, no. Replacing him, I really like Stryker. Stryker and Cole, when they're on commentary, pay-per-views, especially when King's there, King just can't hold a candle to him. Those two have such a rapport, and they really know how to work with each other. From the chat...
Stryker with Matthews has got to be one of the best.
No, I'm going to disagree right there. They cannot sell pay-per-views. They can't. Striker is good at history, he's good at his facts, but he cannot sell pay-per-views.
I'm with you, Lee. I've never been impressed with Striker. I know Joe's a fan. I've never been impressed with him. I don't get the fascination. I don't like him.
But
he's not a play-by-play guy.
He can.
No, that's what Matthews is.
No, but Matthews doesn't do it well. Matthews isn't strong enough. His voice. Now, this isn't being nasty to him, but his voice is just not good enough.
He's good with Matthews. He was better with Grisham, and Grisham got let go.
But Todd Grisham knew what he was doing, though. Todd Grisham got left because he wanted to go to ESPN. Todd Grisham eventually got it. Because he worked with JR for quite a while, got tips, and then he evolved from there. He could have been the lead announcer if he wanted to be.
Right. I'm just saying that I preferred him over.
See, I think I'm going to side with Harrison here. I think Stryker and Cole do work well together because Stryker has the knowledge of the wrestling business that Cole really doesn't have, and Cole can push and sell a pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely. And the two of them, I mean, when they're on a pay-per-view, they can sell a match, and they know how to work. They know how to riff off each other, which is something that JR and Lawler had in the 90s, and JR and Cole do not have. It's very clear that Cole is 3 steps ahead of JR, or I'm sorry, ahead of King, and it's just, I mean, you blame whatever you want. I say King's checked out. I mean, he's basically collecting a paycheck.
That's a fair point, though, but what we're saying is, who would replace Cole?
Nobody. Cole's great.
No, exactly. No, but exactly. Who is going to replace Cole? No one can replace Cole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cole and Stryker are the new team on Raw. Because Cole and Matthews wasn't as good. Because Matthews is a play-by-play guy, and Cole's really good as a play-by-play guy. So the two of them, it felt like Matthews was just kind of like trying to find his place, and they were working off each other. It wasn't until like about 10, 15 minutes later that Matthews realized he kind of switched gears and went kind of like face mode to Cole's heel, and then it started to work a little bit. But yeah, at first it really didn't work very well. Whereas like, I really think Stryker and Cole is a solid team. Anyway, Chad's saying Cole alone full-time is bad. Lawler needs to go. They're actually saying, someone in the chat said Matthews would be a good one. But the best one is the one that we haven't said at all, guys, and that we agree was fantastic. Kane should be permanently on commentary. I like that idea. I like the idea of Kane and Cole doing commentary. Or Kane
to be fair,
brooding
Kane,
for 3 hours.
Kane made a lot of good points, to be fair, and he made more good points than Lawler has all year, which is fair. So,
yeah. And for those people in the live chat who are saying that William Regal should be in there, no. What is he going to do? Try and remember the time when he wrestled?
Hey,
I don't.
You know what?
What, Rob? What? There you go, Rob. There you go.
On that note, let's just go ahead.
Before we move on, I just want to say the chat backed up Kevin saying that Savage, Bartlett, and McMahon were the first commentary on Team on Raw, so good job, Kevin. All right, Nick on Facebook said, I think it's almost certainty that TNA is going to right the wrong they committed last year and have Samoa Joe win Bound for Glory this year. Do you guys think that once the Bound for Glory series wraps up, we can see Storm and EJ tag for the tag title or team up for the tag titles with that going on? And could Samoa Joe really eke out a win in Bound for Glory? Joe.
EJ? Just who the hell is EJ here?
So,
Storm and AJ teaming up to go for the tag titles. Maybe. I don't know if I want to see that. I'm kind of tired of AJ in general. Samoa Joe winning. I'd like to see it because I'm a Samoa Joe fan, but I'm not sure where they're going to go with storylines.
Okay. Rob.
Yeah, I think Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries at Bound for Glory for the title is a viable matchup. I could even see Samoa Joe coming out on top, creating a little bit of a feud between the two of them. As far as Storm and AJ teaming up and going for the titles, I don't think that's viable. I mean, they put AJ Styles and Kurt Angle back together, reforming that old tag team. I think TNA is going to stick with that.
Okay. Kevin.
Please, absolutely, positively make this happen. It is so freaking long coming that Samoa Joe gets what he do. TNA original. The guy is an incredible wrestler. I don't know what he has to do to get his shot, make it happen. They buried him last year, which was absolutely absurd. We were hoping something came of it. Nothing ever did. Make it happen. Put him up against Austin Aries. I don't care if he doesn't win. Just still make it happen. He deserves it. He should be there. AJ and Storm teaming up, I don't think so either. I think Rob's exactly right. And I think they have bigger plans for Storm, particularly in the main event. I don't see that happening at all. So, mainly because I think they want to do something else with Storm above all else.
Lee, go.
Be good for Samoa Joe to finally do something, but I'm not sure. I'm not as convinced as you are, Kevin. I'm gonna say he's gonna lose. I don't think he'll win. Yeah, I think AJ will probably win it.
Okay. What about the tag titles? You think that's viable?
Oh, sorry, the tag titles. Tom and AJ's team up. Maybe. It's a better option than what they've got going now, to be honest, because there's not, in my opinion, there's not too much going on with Danielson thingy. Kaz, I'm lost on a separate thing here. I'm a bit unsure on this one. You've kind of caught me out on this one.
No, that's fine. I'm kind of with Kevin on that one about Samoa Joe winning the Bound for Glory, but I just think that Samoa Joe is one of those guys who is amazing, but backstage he gets in his way. I mean, we have those stories about him getting kicked out of the production truck and whatever, so I think he's one of those guys who TNA wants to push, but for whatever reason, backstage he ends up doing something to screw it up. As far as the Storm and AJ teaming up thing, Nick brought it up that the history of all four men, Storm, AJ, Daniels, and Kaz, there is history between them. But I really think Storm is going to be solid as a singles competitor going off like that. So, I really don't think, that's going to happen just because that would just kill, well, I don't say kill, but that would just kind of redirect all that momentum that Storm would have and AJ would have coming out of the Bound for Glory series. And I don't like the idea of them teaming up and going. Chat saying AJ will win the Bound for Glory series as a thank you for putting up with all the Claire Lynch crap, which is probably, that would be pretty nice of them. Samoa Joe winning Bound for Glory and walks away with the title, and Samoa needs to win the series and the belt. And yeah, he really does, and he does deserve it.
You make a really good point, though, Harrison, about the backstage issues. So that plays in. Maybe he's his own worst enemy. That's a really good point.
Yeah, I don't know. So Brian Pancake Seal on Facebook. I cannot believe I just read that. Why does Miz have a championship? Joe, why?
Why doesn't Miz have every championship? Miz has a championship because Miz deserves a championship, and Miz needs to be the WWE champion because the Miz is, as they say, awesome.
Rob, why does Miz have a championship?
Because WWE has too many title belts and not enough quality people to hold them. And I suppose you could make an argument that he's the Miz and he's awesome.
Rob, you're exactly like all my Android fan friends on Google+. They keep going on about ads. Kevin, why
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
No, they just have that cynical outlook and they're always looking for an opportunity to slam somebody. Why does Miz have a championship?
I don't know.
That's hurtful, Kevin. Lee, why does Miz have a championship?
Well, what WWE do is they all go into a room and they decide. Yeah, they get the Stephanie McMahon, head of creative, and a couple of other writers, and they come up with different ways as to how WWE Raw and SmackDown can be interesting. And they put the characters up, on the list, and they decide who's going to do what, who's going to do what. And what they did is, they got Miz to come back. They wrote into the script, and then they said Miz is going to win that title.
I like that Lee actually gave the actual reason. My opinion is Miz has a championship because he's promoting a movie and it looks good for him to have a belt on that suit when he's out there doing his little press junkets. Chat saying Miz for next unified champion. Wow. I don't think it'll ever happen, but if it does, damn, that's a push to be proud of. Because the Miz is awesome. Easy plug. And, cause he needs something to hold. look weird when he's not holding something. You can tell he's uncomfortable when he doesn't have a belt around his shoulder. Robert on Facebook wanted to let us know that the WWE Falls Count Anywhere Blu-ray was amazing. So if you get a chance to go pick that up, go ahead and do it. But he also asked that on WWE.com, they have an article about 5 things that Brock Lesnar hasn't yet. I know. One of them.
What the hell was that?
I know.
Okay. 1 was become general manager. 2 was beat John Cena. 3 was a rematch with the reinvented Rock, whatever that is. Challenge the streak of The Undertaker, but he did. He lost twice. Win the World Heavyweight Championship. So which one of these 5 things would you like to see Brock Lesnar conquer? Not do, but actually succeed in beating? Joe.
I want to see him destroy John Cena.
Any particular reason why, or just you just think it's the
Because
most?
I want to see Cena get broken pretty badly.
Okay. Rob, which one of those do you want to see Lesnar beat?
I want to see John Cena beat the living piss out of Brock Lesnar right before he gets fired.
Okay. Kevin.
I'll choose number 6. Actually learn how to wrestle again.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, he looked good for the first 10 minutes of the Triple H fight.
Ooh.
Lee.
First 10 minutes.
Well, look, that's all you're going to get out of Triple H is the first 10 minutes, and then the rest is slowly walking around and then hitting someone with a chair. Lee, which one of these would you like to see Lesnar conquer?
Yeah. Let's go through them together, shall we? Become GM. Really? That's even an option. Who the fuck wants to be GM? No one. Beat John Cena. He's already pretty much beat John Cena. He just didn't get a pinfall. Why would he give a shit? He wouldn't. Rematch with the reinvented Rock. He's already beat the Rock. He wouldn't care. Challenge the Streak is the only one that makes any sense because that's a prestigious title. And win the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, let's just say the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't mean an awful lot right now, so get rid of that option.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. It's such a strange list. Become general manager. I don't know. I don't know
Especially with his stellar mic skills.
Yeah.
I mean, basically it would be like, well, we just make Heyman GM. Beat John Cena. That's probably the one I mean that is going to happen. Is he'll actually face John Cena and win. Rematch with the reinvented Rock. That's the thing. It's like, I mean, then they'll do the reinvented Rock versus the reinvented Brock. I don't know.
Hey, they should Rock and Brock should tag. They can be the Ock connection.
Yeah. Personally, for me, I mean, beat John Cena. I don't think the streak's happening because I don't see Taker defending the streak anymore. I think that with the DVD and the whole end of an era thing, it's like we're done with that. Chris Purrington emailed in with some math equations that he did concerning Punk's WWE title reign. This is actually kind of interesting. Survivor Series is the pay-per-view that lands on the day right before Cena's record for a title reign. Okay, so we got that.
God.
The next is Punk, which is on November 19th of this year, is Punk tying that record. With that said, do you think that Punk would actually face Cena on that night to tie and then break the record? Because if he wins that night and holds the belt at the end of Raw, he then holds the record for the longest title reign. Joe, what do you think?
Always got to come to me first. No, go to somebody else, because I actually want to think about this. Or don't say a damn word, Harrison.
No.
That's cool, too. All right, so Harrison apparently is gone. Thank God. All right,
Thank
so the
God.
real show begins.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I find it'd be interesting if they did it that way. I doubt it, but because I don't think they'd want to touch Cena's record at this point. I mean, they would tarnish that, but yeah, it would be interesting if that happened. If he drops it, it's got to be soon. I don't know. It'd be interesting. It's a thought. It's a good thought. I don't think so, but it's food for thought for sure.
You got me now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Rob, what do you think?
I think the WWE is pissed on Cena in every other imaginable way. Yeah, I think Punk will break Cena's record. I like the idea of him fighting Cena at that Raw to break the record. I think that would be really cool.
Okay. Lee, what do you think?
There is only one way that this is going to end, and that is either the day before that record is broken, he will lose that title to John Cena. There is not a chance that WWE will let Punk break Cena's record. I don't believe it, and I will be there to see it. There is not a chance they will let that happen. Not a chance.
No chance in hell?
No chance in hell.
Joe, you ready?
That's what you got. I think Punk's he's going to break it. I think that he's going to be the next guy. They with Triple H seemingly stepping down, he's no longer active. They need another heel persona to truly run the company ragged, and Punk's the one to do it.
All right.
Punk is going to be the guy to give the 20-minute monologues at the beginning of his show, plus a 20-minute one at the end, and also be in the main event. But we're going to enjoy watching Punk.
Yeah, we're going to
retire every year.
Yeah, and his hair show's going to be a bottom, but we're going to love him for it. All right, so for me, yeah, I think this is definitely. I don't know if Punk's going to win, but he's definitely going to have. There's going to be a big deal because every time Punk comes out, they mention it every show that he's held the title for X amount of days and that he's number blah blah blah. So the fact that he would then beat Cena's record, that's going to be a big match. I don't know if that's going to, I think they're kind of bummed that the math doesn't work out, that it lands right on a pay-per-view, but the idea that it lands on a Raw is pretty big. Balthazar emailed in saying, after seeing HBK afraid of walking, in the backstage area, them being carried like a girl, Punk on Lesnar, my idea of them being a couple, do you think that, did HBK, have to make this sacrifice to push the feud that in the end really didn't live up to the hype between Triple H and Lesnar? Did HBK become JR as the one to be humiliated? What do you think, Rob?
Harrison, I agree with you 100% on this. HBK should have just walked off into the sunset. He had his career. He had all of these wonderful accomplishments, but yeah, if he wants to keep coming back and keep letting the WWE, use him as this is pretty much what he can expect. A slow dismantling of his legacy.
Okay. Kevin, what do you think?
I disagree. They brought him back with DX, 3 weeks ago?
Kevin disagrees with me. Why is that not surprising?
Oh, yeah, well, Rob, come on, man. It's me and you, buddy. It's like old times. No, I mean, they brought him back, DX Raw 1000 a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it's one segment. I don't want to read too much into this. That's the basis of what I want to say.
Okay. Lee, what do you think?
No, I don't think he became JR as such. I just think it was quite good. It wasn't very well done, but it was a good idea. I don't think HBK had to get involved at all, to be honest. I think they just put him there because his name's HBK, more than anything, and he's Triple H's best friend.
Alright. Joe, what do you think?
If he's going to be the one to be the new humiliation target, whatever. I mean, if he's going to keep coming back, I say, fuck it, go for it. But, nobody's going to be more embarrassed by being trashed than JR. I mean, the Kiss My Ass Club and all the losing to Cole numerous times. Yeah. If they're going to have somebody be humiliated, really look at JR is never going to be topped. He really isn't, which is really sad for a company guy like that.
Yeah, I think the problem is, I think that's one of those things that they're just going to keep. I don't know if it's just, JR just is the whipping boy, and just because, like you say, it's company, so they know they can get over. Basically, that Vince knows he can get away with it. I don't know. But for me, I didn't. I mean, I'm kind of with Joe. I mean, HBK's retired. He's done. Get him out of here. I mean, come on, have some dignity, dude. I mean, this is just like when the Rolling Stones have yet another, retirement tour, and then it's just like, yeah, no one's buying it this time, guys. Or Aerosmith comes out with yet another greatest hits record. It's just like, you guys are done. You're done. Just call it. All right. All right. So, time for win fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here is your win.
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
of the week.
Wins of the week. Your win of the week, go Joe.
I'm sure everybody, or just about everybody's going to say the same damn thing, and it's perfectly fine. Kane in those fucking segments on Raw. Pure money, perfect, great reactions. Awesome. That's my win of the week.
Okay. Rob, your win of the week.
My win of the week is CM Punk beating the ever-living shit out of Lawler.
Okay. Kevin, your win of the week.
My win of the week is going to a local house show here in Detroit with Joe and Garvin walking in the door, and Alex Shelley's wrestling. Pretty fucking awesome.
And wrestling Petey Williams at the time.
Yes. It's well known. I am a huge fan of the Motor City Machine Guns and always will be. Possibly the best tag team of all time. Really cool to just walk in and holy crap, Alex Shelley's in the ring wrestling. Man, him and Petey Williams look good. I mean, real good. So, really awesome to see him, and that was just really, really cool surprise on Saturday. And, of course, seeing him with two of my best wrestling buddies in the world. It was good times.
Awesome. Lee, your win of the week. Go.
It's probably going to have to be Kane, simply because it was brilliant. The Katie Vick reference has just made my week. It made my night, but no, it's made my week. And I don't get bored. I've watched it three times today. It's so funny. I honestly, there has been nothing better in wrestling this week than that. Oh, and Punk knocking the shit out of Lawler. That was different, but mainly Kane.
No,
sorry, I've got another one. Twitter is my win of the week. They made Katie Vick trend, which is brilliant.
My win of the week is CM Punk singing during the match against Lawler. That was fantastic. Chet saying win was Kane. Ziggler smashing Sheamus with a case was nice. CM Punk makes the King tap out and the ending of the Claire storyline. Yeah, hopefully that's done. Kane segment, D-Bry losing by count out and CM Punk brutalizing Lawler and AJ taking Vicky down. Gotta love that. Fails of the week. Your fails of the week, go Joe.
My fail of the week is just about the rest of Raw. I think that the main event was well needed, but aside from that, I think that and the Kane Daniel Bryan segments, I think the entire thing was very bad. A festering bag of dog snot, or bowl of dog snot. Thank you, UHF, for that reference. And, yeah.
Can't believe you busted out Weird Al on us. Rob, your fails of the week. Go, Rob.
My fail of the week is going to have to go to pretty much just this episode of TNA's Open Fight Night in general. I mean, TNA had been doing so well with this gimmick since its inception, but nothing really seemed to gel this episode.
Yeah. Kevin, your fails of the week.
My fail kind of might be sort of maybe the Triple H promo. And Lee, why don't you talk about your fail? So you could just go ahead and talk about yours.
No, sorry, Kevin.
No, you need to elaborate on that one, Kevin.
What happened? I blacked out. I can't remember.
What was up with the Triple H promo? What?
The angry sharks are swimming.
What?
Come on, Kev, you can tell us. You're among friends.
Move on, please. Make it stop.
Yeah, come on, man. You went this far. All we're asking for you to do is just kind of like to make that extra, just explain it. Come on, point on the doll where Triple H screwed things up for you.
This is starting to remind me of the anger management segment.
This is a safe zone. This is a safe area. No one's going to judge you.
We're the trust tree and the nest. And...
Exactly. I'm giving you the trust stick. You hold this. No one can judge you, whatever you say while you hold this. So here you go.
And
Why
God.
Triple H's segment sucks so bad that it was just a failed abortion on TV.
Wow.
Your words, not mine. So go on.
Wow.
Oh.
Go on, Kev. Why was it so bad?
And the show is now at a standstill.
All right.
Move on.
The week. Lee.
Oh, sorry. Fail the week has got to go
for Lee for missing his cue.
Yeah, I know, bastard. It's got to be for TNA's gut check. I keep saying that it doesn't work, and it's just the same thing every week so far, and it's the same this week, and it was just crap this week. It was worse than crap. They need to sort something out. In my opinion, it just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, Louis almost looked like he really didn't even belong in a tryout match.
Yeah, that was
He didn't really, though, did he? He didn't. It didn't look like he was even good enough. Maybe they've done it deliberately, so then they can say, oh, well, not everybody does, pass his gut check or whatever. But either way, there's so many decent talent out there, independent-wise. It's a bit of a waste.
But the biggest, the thing that stood out to me with that is you have Taz, and every week, or every month, Tenay tries to get Taz to tip his hand as a judge and say what he's thinking. And every time, Taz is like, well, I'm a judge. It's not really, I'll review the match and I'll make my judgment. I'm not going to say anything. Taz wasted no time criticizing Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how bad he was. Taz is like, yeah, this guy's horrible.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, like everybody, no, I've not heard a good review for him. Like, no one said, let's hire him or anything like that. There's not been that kind of buzz that there was, to the Joey Ryans, to the Taylor Hendricks, no one's really talking about him. Everyone's gone off it very quickly. It's all, you just don't feel it with him.
Yeah, my fail is the fact that TNA let him on TV. Say what you will about him being so poor, so terrible, or however he performed. TNA decided that he was good enough to put 15 minutes of our time with him in there, and that just failed on TNA. I mean, come on, you could. I mean, this is the guy that's major yips, nerves or whatever. I mean, that's huge. I can't imagine that guy would be good enough for TNA to say, yeah, we can put this guy on TV, but this is what he produces. And the gulf there has to be extreme, and I can't imagine it being.
But if a guy's nervous after the first appearance, what's it going to be like in front of a weekly stage, Like, he shouldn't be nervous. You're in a wrestling ring. This is TNA. Like, I'm not being offensive to TNA, but that's a relatively small audience. And if you can't stand that.
But
it's still a national TV crowd. There's still millions of people watching.
It is, but once, like, they're gonna have to constantly doing this, You can't just, when you first appearance, be nervous.
Yeah, I mean, looking at him, putting myself in the role of booker or promoter, I'm not even sure that Louis is good enough for Ohio Valley Wrestling.
No,
well,
that's
a great...
This is the thing. It falls, you can say whoever it falls on, but the fact of the matter is, it is easier to make it in the NBA than it is in pro wrestling. So, for every one of these Louis guys that's going to make it, there's 50 to 100 guys behind him who are going to be better and want him more. And TNA decided to pick this guy to put on TV. If you want to take the conspiracy theory route and say they did this so that way they could say we're not going to hire somebody, fine. But fail on TNA for deciding that this guy would take it above probably, I'm willing to bet, at least 24 people who would be a better pick.
Right.
That's true, but then what about then that just brings the whole gut check thing itself into complete, why is it even happening if they're going to bring guys like this on TV?
It's just the one time, though. We still have 3 other guys that are three other guys and one woman who was pretty good. So if this is the one outlier that we got before they come back, great. But whoever signed up, Fail.
It still doesn't feel like I know they've been sent to OVW, but it still doesn't feel like anything's happened. We've talked about this before. The most time that gut check contestant has got is bloody Joey Ryan, and they haven't even bloody hired him.
Well, they hired him. I mean, he's just doing these segments where they haven't hired him. Anyway, Chad saying Swagger falling on his face was a fail. Triple H trying to do a signature pose with the case on his arm. Yeah, that was, or the cast on his arm. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. Fail, God's long, boring promo, and, AJ and gut check. And, that is it. Anything else you guys want to talk about, or are we ready to close out the show?
We're ready to go.
Alright, that is it. That is the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Why not check out theftwpodcast.com for more information about us and how to get involved in the future. There's even a support tab. If you go there, you can click it. You can donate, buy merch, as well as links to how to rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, and things like that. We basically accept no less than 4 stars and $40 for anything from you guys, so be aware for that. Thank you everyone in the live chat. We recorded the FTW podcast episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. 1 a.m. Greenwich.
I'm sorry. Well played, Lee. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Harrison.
That's alright. Thank you, Kev, for being on. You're never on enough, I'm telling anybody. And thank you guys in the live chat. You guys are fantastic. Again,
I tried fucking last week, and I didn't get off work until like 7 o'clock. It sucked.
That's okay. We'll have you on more. It'll be great. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.